Hello and welcome to another edition of Strategic Gaming. My name is Mac Taylor. A little late to the draw on this one, but we're going to be talking about Winners of War Episode 2. I meant to have this out last week, but I got life, guys. It happens. Things come up. But you know what? I'm here. I'm ready to talk about it. Tonight we got a new episode, and I'm hoping, if all goes well, be able to podcast about that immediately after tonight's episode. So, back on track with the schedule. I have plenty of podcasts to record and release, so there should be, if all goes well, a flurry of things coming your way for a while until I get all caught up. Without further ado, let's talk about what is shaping up to be one of the greatest seasons of Survivor ever. I know everyone always says best season ever, loosely, but this could be the best season ever. Like, things are happening that are just baffling and fun. And guys, how could we not? We got 20 former winners. Now we're down to 18 former winners battling out for supremacy. This is awesome. So we start out, Amber's bummed that, she hasn't been on Survivor since season 8 All-Stars. Has kind of watched Rob become this icon for Survivor, and this was her turn to kind of step back in the ring and show why she won. And she gets knocked out second, and it's not an easy pill to swallow. Yes, she's on edge of extinction, but she's gonna have to beat a lot of people that, Amber has an okay challenge record, but that was, like 15 years ago. So we'll see how she stacks up against if, like, Tyson ends up going edge of extinction, or Rob even goes edge of extinction. How she would stack up in a competition against them. So Rob gets the fire token, and immediately is like, it's probably Amber. And that, you could see just how distraught he is over that, because he hasn't played Survivor with Amber since they met. Every other time he's gone out, he's been able to just worry about himself, and he's had to worry about her. And now, the worst case scenario is happening very, very fast. Didn't think it would happen this fast. So Rob's trying to come to terms with that. And Ben wants to work on his social game. Because he's known as the idol guy, the guy who's finding the idols. So Ben wants to teach people how to find idols as a way to get in with them, which is an interesting strategy. We've never seen this employed. Ben is such a wild card guy. So this is true Ben fashion, really. So he's teaching Denise how to find the idol, and she finds an idol. But the catch is the idol is in two halves, meaning you have to entrust somebody with the other half to be able to play it as one idol. I like this. I like that there's a social dynamic to the idols, because modern Survivor, we've gotten all these idols and advantages just littering the game that it's nice to there still have to be some sort of social merit to be able to use it. I like that. I like that concept, and with the fire tokens and the bartering and all that, it's quite fun. There is a lot of stuff going on here. We got Sandra's idol, we got half idols, we got edge of extinction, we got fire tokens, we got other advantages. There's a lot happening. Like, there's a lot of shit going down. It's quite crazy. So, Denise is like, oh, I assume that you want the other half of this. And Ben's like, no, use it to bring someone else in. So not only does he not find the idol himself, but then he tells Denise to give the half of the idol to somebody else. Which, honestly, I thought a lot about this. And at first I was like, well, that's so dumb. Why wouldn't you just take it? But then I was like, well, it really does help him build trust with Denise. Because not only is he saying, let me help you get something, but I don't want anything in return from it. Denise is going to be more inclined to trust Ben. And they talk about maybe getting it to Adam. So, and Ben's like, yeah, of course, I'm on board. And so Denise goes over to Adam, and she's like, I found an idol. And he's like, great. Am I the only one who knows? She's like, well, Ben knows. And he's so worried about Ben. And Ben wants so desperately to align with Adam, and Adam is just not having it. And I don't really understand the dilemma. It's Ben's not exactly the most strategic guy. It'd be a great person to have on your side. I don't understand the holdup. I think Adam really is trying to rock this, him and Denise being the Denise and Malcolm, the twosome, but you could be a threesome. You don't need to be a twosome. It's harder to be a twosome. So Adam's like, okay, and she's like, it's in halves, and I think we should give the other half to Parvati. And Adam has the same reaction that I do to this idea, which was like, no, that's a terrible idea. Parvati is the last person you should give anything to. Giving an idol to Parvati is like sticking your head in an alligator's mouth, and then you're surprised when it bites you. Like, oh, it's so dumb. Like, we don't need to give Parvati any other leverages in the game. She is a stone cold killer in Survivor. Not that I don't want Parvati to go far in this game. It's just like, we've seen it happen twice where people have had opportunities to take her out in the pre-merge. They didn't, and then she got a footing in the game and there was no stopping her. And so you want to hand her an idol? So Adam very much is like, no, shuts that down. So Denise is like, all right, well then I guess I'll just give it to you. And Adam's like, yes. And Adam's like, I wanted it, but I definitely didn't want Parvati to have it. So Kim, on the DeCall side, is having no adjust to being on the bottom. And she's not doing great with it. We've always wondered, what does Kim Spradlin game look like? After, if she's not on One World with the clown car full of idiots. And we're seeing she's not doing so hot as far as she's just lost. She has nothing to, nowhere to go. She's not really great at reintegrating herself. But she does manage to find an idol, but it's also in halves. And she's like, well, I'll just give it to Sophie. Because I trust Sophie and I want to work with Sophie. And Sophie, in her confessional, is like, she should not have given that idol to me. I can't wait to turn my back on Kim. And she just gave her idol to the devil. And it is really cool to see Sophie doing things, because I know in her season she really got overshadowed by Ozzy and Cochran and Brandon and all that, and Coach, all of those characters. So it's nice to kind of see her really proving why she won South Pacific with these thoughts and great confessionals. And I'm ready to see if Kim wants to play it and Sophie's just straight up like, nah, I'm not giving you the other half. And poor Kim, though, she can't catch a break, but she's not helping herself. So we get to the edge of extinction, and it's a hunt to find something to barter with, and Natalie ends up finding basically an advantage where you could leave tribal council. Like, tribal council is like, they could be getting ready to vote, and you're like, Jeff, I'm gonna head out. And you just leave. And so she offers it to Jeremy, and Jeremy buys it. So, and Jeremy has, she gave him her fire token, so she essentially got her fire token back. So, and he gets a nice advantage. And on to call. So there's been this thing with breadfruit. Like, everyone's trying to get breadfruit. And Yul makes this like snare kind of thing where he can cut it down from afar. And Tony makes a ladder. And it may be the most flimsy, dangerous ladder I've ever seen in my entire life. Just loosely tied together. And everyone's like, no, no, Tony, don't go up there. Don't do that. That's a terrible idea. And Tony's like, no, no, guys, I got this. I'm going to go up there. I'm going to get the breadfruit. It's going to be fine. And he goes to take a step on the first step, and it breaks off, and he almost falls. And Tyson has this great confessional where he's like, this guy is a member of our law enforcement. How is he even still alive? And it really does bring a question, though. How the hell is this guy still alive? This is it's a huge ladder. It's so flimsy, but he does get to the top and get the fruit. And he's like, beat that, Yule. And really how I heard someone make this comparison, and I really can't stop thinking about it. Their approach to getting breadfruit is very indicative of their games. Yule has this concise, very almost complicated but efficient way, whereas Tony's got this crazy thing going on, and you're like, oh my god, at any second he's gonna fall off and die, but he doesn't, and he gets to the top, and that's what happened in Cagayan. Is a series of craziness, but it worked. He got there. He got it done, and then in Game Changers, the first rung of the ladder broke, and he hit his head and got knocked out. So I'm curious to see he's hanging in there in Winners at War, and it is kind of crazy. And Sophie has another great confessional too. Here, so it's like a child playing, and you're playing along, but then you start to realize that the kid views it as real life and not fantasy. So Tony is kind of like that kid, So again, another great confessional. Just a good comedy bit there. And Sarah and Tony, though, they do reform Cops RS. And so Tony does have a strategic mind. He is good at the game. He's just a lunatic. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And then Sarah's like, last time in Cops RS, he voted me out. And I'm like, everyone always says that. But you were trying to vote him out in Cagayan, and it backfired on you. So I don't really understand why. Really, he should have a hang-up of trusting Sarah more than Sarah should have a hang-up of trusting Tony. So we get the immunity challenge. They did this in Cagayan. It's like a chance. You got to take the card apart and get to these obstacles and do this dragon puzzle. It's for immunity and a spice kit. And Rob is frazzled by Amber being gone and really blows the puzzle. And so DeCall wins immunity here. And Rob, he gets back to camp. He's like, I know I did a bad job at the puzzle, but I was very out of it with Amber. And Parvati, she's like, we need to take out a new school player, because if they realize they have the numbers, we're fucked. And there is a great moment. Ethan just walks up to Rob and is like, you really sucked out there today. Ethan is phenomenal. He really is. It is so much fun seeing him on this season. It has been a total delight. So Rob, he's like, well, we're going to target Ben or Jeremy. It's either going to be Ben, it's going to be Jeremy. One of them's got to go. But Danny feels left out of the group. So Danny she goes up to Ben and Ethan, and she's like, hey, we need to take out Parvati. Because, and I know we had this old school alliance thing, but we need to take out Parvati. She's making a move against me. And Ethan's like, hey, Danny, do you know who this guy here is? He's not old school, okay? He's from season 35. I don't know who you think you're talking to, but shush. Because I'm sure Ethan is like, what are you doing, you crazy lady? We're talking to two different sides of the coin here. Oh, poor Ethan. But also, what the hell is Danny thinking? No one is targeting Danny. Get alone, Parvati. Parvati was even like, we had a good rep, I thought. No one's targeting Danny Boatwright. No one's coming into this season targeting Danny Boatwright. And I know she wanted to prove that she's a good winner, but why do that? Why not just use your low-profile win to your advantage because no one's targeting you? But by acting like a crazy person, people are going to target you. So, that crazy shenanigans happens. And now everyone's like, well, maybe we should vote out Danny. It would be easier to vote out Danny. Even though there are two kind of distinct sides here, Adam and Denise's side, and Rob and Parvati's with, Ben and Michelle in the middle. Danny's now becoming the easy appease vote because she's pissing everyone off. So Adam does want Parvati out, but he's worried about Rob, which is crazy. It's crazy here because Rob and Parvati are essentially on the bottom of the numbers, but are able to make power moves because people are really afraid of Rob and what he can do when his back's against the wall. And even though he's not in a position of power, the fear of what he could possibly do if he was is keeping people from really pulling the trigger, and I am amazed by that out of the winners. That Rob really is this prolific figure that you're afraid to target. I just find it absolutely baffling. Like, that's Parvati and Boston Rob. Like, that should be number 1 and number 2 to get out. So Jeremy considers the move, but ultimately is like, I'm probably going to go with Danny. Like, and they have this funny bit at Tribal where Adam cannot find the torch hole. Like, he's just fumbling around with it, and Jeff just kind of signals, and Ben kind of goes like, here you go, buddy. Oh my god, it was pure gold. So we get this crazy tribal council where there's a lot of talk of old school versus new school. And Rob and Parvati, they really don't want there to be this old school, new school thing solidified because they don't know what's going on at Day Call. There could be crazy shenanigans going on over there. And if at the merge it does become old school, new school solidified, they could be fucked. So they're they don't want to anything to be solidified yet. And Ben, he's like, everyone's paranoid. And everyone's like, well, I'm not paranoid, or I'm not paranoid, and I'm not paranoid. Are you saying I'm paranoid? He's like, no, everyone's paranoid. Ben, just every time he talks, something bad happens. And he's like, damn it, that's not what I meant. Like, it just seems like he's in this series. It's a series of unfortunate events for Ben Greenberg. It's fun. So Boston Rob does this insane move where he's like, I want to know who was the idol. Everyone should empty their bags. And then everyone starts emptying their bags. And I'm like, whoa. Me and Adam had the same thought, although if everyone's emptying their bag, I'm going to try to sneak around my idol, but I'm going to kind of half-ass empty it. Because Adam goes, well, this is ridiculous. Why should we even have to do this? And that does kind of make it look like you have it. You shouldn't, or at least do what Denise does, where she starts to empty it out, but doesn't empty it out all the way and quickly hides it back. Because her and Adam are on the other side as Rob, so he can't really just Hawkeye them. But I don't think this move was as much about getting everyone to empty out their bags. I think it was just shaking people up. And getting that reaction out of Adam told him everything. That, him being so defensive just tells him he has the idol. So even though he didn't see it in his bag, he now has a pretty good idea where it's at, not knowing that there's two halves. So I think it does put a target on Adam from Rob because of what happened at Tribal. But it's just fucking bananas that he goes, everyone empty your bags. And they fucking do it. It's like, whoa. He's got like a 1% chance of winning this game, but Rob is proving why he's one of the best players to ever play this game, is because he has this great intimidation tactic that works, and it works well. And some people are like, well, it's a bully, it's bullying. This is a social strategy game. And if you could use, you're not forcing anybody. If nobody empties out their bags and they all write Rob's name down, Rob goes home. He can't physically enforce anything or mentally enforce anything, but everyone's afraid of going home. And he's playing up that fear. And there's nothing wrong with that in my eyes. That could be part of the game. And the fact that most people, including myself, would never try these things. But Rob does. And that's why it works, because when someone has that much confidence to make a move like that, it's almost scary, because you're like, why do they have that confidence? What can they do? So, yeah, baffling maneuver, but truly brilliant. Because Rob's still not on the top. He doesn't have the numbers, but he's surviving. And I'm curious to see how long this can keep up before he gets cut. I'm thinking pre-merge, but it's quite crazy to see this play out. So the vote comes out 8-1. Danny Boatwright, the third person voted out of Winners at War. Yes, she'll be on edge of extinction, but my final thoughts of Danny, unless she comes back into the game. All she had to do was shut up. All she had to do was just go with whatever. Nobody was taking Danny Boatwright out. She could have done nothing and got to the final 3 at the very least. Like, nobody was targeting Danny. Nobody. None. 0 people. People were targeting Michelle before they were going to target Danny Boatwright. Okay? Nobody. Some of these people may not know who the fuck Danny Boatwright is. All she had to do was just go with it. At least until the merge, then maybe you can make some shit happen. She got paranoid, she panicked, and she blew up her own game. It was, like I said, I'm not the biggest Danny Boatwright fan, so I was pretty happy this happened. But I was totally shocked it happened coming into the season. I'm like, she's going to make the final 3, because who the fuck's going to take out Danny Boatwright? Well, I'll tell you who's coming after Danny Boatwright. Danny Boatwright. It was insane. And in preseason, she's like, well, I'm going to prove why I won Guatemala and why I'm a good player. And really, you didn't prove anything but that you got lucky, I think, a little bit in Guatemala. Because if you did that in Guatemala, you'd have been like a Judd or a Jamie back then. So, it was a very steep fall for Danny Boatwright. And with that brings an end to the episode 2 discussion. Stay tuned later tonight, and I'm going to have my episode 3 discussion. I cannot wait to see what Winners at War has in store. My name is Mac Taylor. Until next time, stay nerdy.